Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to completely unpack the precise electrical science behind exactly what happens when a LiFePO4 battery hits 3.65 volts and forces a sudden hard shutdown. We're moving way beyond those simplified theories today. We are going to look at the literal electrical reality of what's happening inside your system right at the absolute climax of the charging cycle.
Okay, let's dive right into this highly relatable and frankly super frustrating mystery. You know the deal. You charge your battery, everything seems totally fine, the pack voltage looks healthy, and then boom, out of nowhere, the entire system goes completely dark. You hear a loud click, the current just abruptly stops, and you're left standing there wondering if your battery is broken, if it was actually full, or if your charger just completely failed. This abrupt disconnect is literally one of the most common points of confusion for anyone running off-grid solar or backup power systems.
So the huge inciting misconception here is treating your battery management system, your BMS, like a normal charge controller. But in reality, the BMS is strictly an emergency brake. A lot of folks incorrectly rely on that BMS cutoff instead of dialing in their proper charger settings. Your charger is your daily driver. It's designed for daily regulation, smoothly bringing the battery up to full and stopping nicely. The BMS is your final layer of protection. If your BMS is constantly disconnecting your battery during a standard charge, well, it means something in your system is configured incorrectly, and you're basically triggering a massive emergency safety protocol every single day. To really grasp the incredible tension building up inside that battery right before the emergency brake gets pulled, we have to look at the foundational electrical math guiding this whole process. It's not just about, blindly pushing energy into a magic box. It's really about how voltage, current, and resistance interact as that battery approaches its absolute physical limits.
Let's look at the baseline math for a second. For a standard 16-cell series LiFePO pack, the maximum charging voltage is calculated by simply multiplying 16 cells by 3.65 volts. That gives us a hard, non-negotiable limit of exactly 58.4 volts. This is exactly why a lot of 48-volt chargers use 58.4 as their absolute absorption ceiling. But, and this is a completely crucial point from our source material, 3.65 volts per cell is absolutely not a normal resting voltage. It is the absolute razor-edge upper charging limit. Holding cells at this maximum limit continuously, that just aggressively accelerates heat generation, electrolyte stress, and overall capacity degradation. What this means dynamically is that as voltage approaches that absolute maximum 58.4 volt limit, the physical behavior of the battery actually changes, right? According to the power equation, power equals voltage times current, as the cell gets closer and closer to its maximum capacity, the current naturally tapers down, but the cell voltage starts rising much, much faster for every single amp you inject. The battery basically becomes highly, highly sensitive. As we transition from the constant current phase into the constant voltage phase, that charging curve steeply enters the danger zone. During constant current, the charger is happily supplying a fixed flow, and the voltage rises gradually and very predictably. But once the charger hits its target voltage and shifts into constant voltage mode, the current drops off fast. Near full charge, that voltage curve goes nearly vertical. In this specific zone, tiny, microscopic amounts of charge cause massive, sharp voltage spikes. And it's on this exact steep edge where the BMS is forced to wake up, jump in, and intervene. Now, I want to essentially freeze time right at the climax of the cutoff event, exactly at 3.65 volts. Let's slow everything way down and see what physically and electrically happens in the system in the literal blink of an eye when that threshold gets breached. In just a fraction of a single second, the sequence is wildly dramatic. At 0 milliseconds, the BMS detects an overvoltage condition. In just 5 milliseconds, it physically opens the charge MOSFETs. By 10 milliseconds, the charging current collapses completely and instantly, entirely severing the charger from the battery pack. And then, maybe a couple of seconds later, the cell voltage actually rebounds downward. It's a violent electrical disconnect under active charging pressure. It's basically slamming a heavy door shut on massive incoming current. Now, you might think you're perfectly safe just looking at the overall pack voltage. Maybe your screen says you're sitting comfortably at 56 volts, well below that 58.4 volt maximum. But relying on that assumption hides a truly massive blind spot. Pack voltage alone simply cannot identify weak cells, slight voltage drift, or a total balancing failure inside the box. So here is the absolute crucial takeaway. Battery safety is determined entirely by the absolute highest or weakest cell, not the average pack voltage. For instance, 15 of your cells could be resting safely at a totally normal 3.42 volts. But if just one single weak or slightly imbalanced cell spikes early and hits 3.65 volts, The BMS has no choice but to protect that one single cell. It will forcefully, immediately shut down the entire system, even if the total overall pack voltage looks perfectly fine to your charge controller. So why does one cell just suddenly race ahead like that? Well, it all comes down to Ohm's law. Even microscopic differences in internal resistance, varying cell compression, tiny temperature shifts, or literally just the resistance of the physical busbar connecting them together means one cell will inevitably pull ahead of the pack toward that cutoff line. Near the very top of the charge curve, those tiny, seemingly insignificant capacity mismatches become hugely exaggerated. Let's pivot for a second and look at the aftermath of this dramatic cutoff. We need to break down the real risks and the very confusing signals left behind. Because when the system shuts down, it leaves a lot of clues, and honestly, a lot of potential damage if this becomes a regular habit for your system. The most universally confusing signal is the voltage rebound. Beginners often see the voltage suddenly drop the second the BMS cuts the power, and they instantly assume, oh, the battery was fake full or that the BMS just tripped way too early. Actually, scratch that. This voltage rebound is just basic physics. It simply happens because the current stopped pushing so hard against the battery. The surface charge naturally dissipates, and the voltage that was artificially elevated by internal resistance instantly relaxes. The cell absolutely was full. It just isn't under that aggressive charging pressure anymore. And here is exactly why you literally cannot let this happen every single day. If you allow your charger to repeatedly force these emergency cutoffs, you are exposing your very expensive hardware to severe, unnecessary electrical stress. I mean, think about it. Slamming the brakes on high current creates dangerous arcing at your connectors, extreme thermal stress on the internal MOSFETs of your BMS, intense wear and tear on mechanical relays, and it causes your charge controller to become highly unstable. And ironically, relying on this actually increases cell imbalance over time. Never, ever underestimate the massive stored energy we're dealing with here. As our source material explicitly warrants, even in standard 48-volt off-grid configurations, a fully charged battery contains an enormous amount of raw energy. An abrupt disconnect under high charging current isn't just bad for your equipment's lifespan, it is a highly hazardous event that can cause wild voltage spikes and dangerous arcing. It's a true worst-case scenario emergency protocol that we absolutely want to prevent at all costs. Okay, so how do we actually build a safer system? Because safety is ultimately determined by the absolute weakest link in your battery pack. Let's look at how to properly configure your setup to prevent these annoying nuisance trips. We want the daily charger to do its actual job so your BMS can just sit back and sleep peacefully. To safeguard your whole system, you've got to follow these steps. First off, always prioritize individual cell-level monitoring. Never just trust the overall pack voltage. Second, adjust your charger's absorption settings downward so that it nicely finishes the charge and stops smoothly, long before any single cell even gets close to that 3.65-volt emergency threshold. Third, ensure your system has sufficient active balancing that kicks in right near the top of the charge, which is exactly when those cells start drifting apart. And finally, visually inspect and physically tighten all your balance leads. A single loose sense wire can easily trick your BMS into a completely false overvoltage reading, shutting you down in an instant. A healthy, well-calibrated setup should charge smoothly, taper perfectly at the end, and almost never have to trigger a BMS intervention. Understanding the highly aggressive electrical dynamics that happen near 3.65 volts is the absolute key to extending your system's life and preventing the massive headache of constant sudden blackouts. Which leaves me with one final, absolutely critical question for you to investigate on your own off-grid setup today. What exact charging voltage are you relying on to keep your LiFePO4 system safe right now? Seriously, check your settings, check your individual cells, and ensure your charger, and definitely not your emergency brake, is the one doing the driving.